They are only expressions and demonstrations of the spiritual qualities that travel seamlessly, continuously. The good news about this, why we don't have to be afraid of what's coming, is because it always has our name on it. It always is a perfect fit to us. It's tailor-made by the divine for us. So whatever we're letting go of, it can be pointed. It can be said. There can be great grief in releasing the things that we're finished with. Hey, we're not finished yet, but we are. And we have to free ourselves, our hands, our hearts, and our minds, to be able to recognize, receive, accept, and embrace those things that are newly emerging, because those are who we are now, and they're a fit. There's only one seed of being within each of us, and we're never going to become something else. We're only going to be actualizing and becoming what lies within our innate state of being. So do you see how whatever we let go of and whatever we take a hold of is all going to be us? So that isn't anything to be really afraid of, unless you're Becky. So if I could share something with you, how much time do I have left? 10. This will be fast. But I can't not share it with you. Maybe some of you will recognize this. Who's Dr. I just gave it away. This is written by Theodore Geisel, who is
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. And it's called The Pale Green Pants. Do you know it?
Yes. No.
Yeah, it's good. Okay. So in honor of the upcoming Halloween, and a very scary story, well, I was walking in the night, and I saw nothing scary. For I had never been afraid of anything. Not very. Then I was deep within the woods, when suddenly I spied them. I saw a pair of pale green pants with nobody inside them. I wasn't scared, but yet I stopped. What could those pants be there for? What could a pair of pants at night be standing in the air for? And then they moved, those empty pants. They kind of started jumping, and then my heart, I must admit, it kind of started thumping. So I got out fast as I could go, sir. I wasn't scared, but pants like that, I did not care for. No, sir. After that, a week went by. Then one dark night in Greenwich, I had to do an errand there and fetch some Greenwich spinach. Well, I fetched the spinach, and I was starting... A really different ending to this story. Well, I had fetched the spinach, I was starting back through town when those pants raced round a corner and they almost knocked me down. I lost my Greenwich spinach, but I didn't even care. I ran for home, believe me, I really had a scare. Now, bicycles were never made for pale green pants to ride them, especially spooky pale green pants with nobody inside them. And the next night, I was fishing for trout on River River. When those pants came rowing toward me, I started to shiver. And by now, I was so frightened that I'll tell you, but I hate to. I screamed and rode away and lost my hook and line and bait too. I ran and found a brittle bush. I hid myself away. I got prickles in my breeches, but I stayed there anyway. I stayed all night. The next night too, I'd be there still, no doubt. But I had to do an errand, so the next night I went out. I had to do an errand. I had to pick a peck of snide in a dark and gloomy snide field that was almost 9 miles wide. I said, I do not fear those pants with nobody inside them. I said those words. I said them, but I lied them. Then I reached inside a snide bush, and the next thing that I knew, I felt the hand touch someone, and I'll bet that you know who. And there I was, caught in a snide, in that dreadful place. Those spooky empty pants and I were standing face to face. I yelled for help, I screamed, I shrieked, I howled, I yelled, I cried. Oh, save me from these pale green pants with nobody inside. But then a strange thing happened. Why, those pants began to cry. Those pants began to tremble. They were just as scared as I. I never heard such whimpering. I began to see that that I was just as strange to them as they were strange to me. So I put my arm around their waist and sat down beside them. I calmed them down, poor empty pants with nobody inside them. And now we meet quite often, goes into Dan's and I, and we never shake or tremble, just smile. We say hi. We have a tendency to fear the unknown, the unfamiliar, until we run into them enough that it's not unfamiliar anymore, and then we get attached to it. Isn't that funny how we do that? Resist, 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 fall in love, get attached, and have to let go and cry about it. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. With it, we'd be fortunate enough to fall in love over and over and over, and have to go through whatever it is that we're required to go through to let go of that which we love, so that we can find and embrace something new to love on the continuum of our lives. I understand that where's Patty that does the butterflies? Patty. So Reverend Sean and Becky were telling me all about you and this magic you do with farming the butterflies. And I just happen to live by one of the largest butterfly or monarch groves in the country, which is Bismo Beach. And so what a great, it's such a perfect metaphor or analogy for what we're talking about in release and reveal. And you all know the whole story of the caterpillar releasing its form and familiarity to embrace and reveal the butterfly's magical new transformative being, right? And aren't we called to do that every day? Aren't we called to do that through every situation, every breath? I look into your faces and I see people that I remember from when I was here last night. I moved from California out of state in 2005, so it's been at least 10 years that I've seen many of you. And so if you see before you the person that you saw 10 years ago, I have to tell you, I'm not her. I'm not her. The butterflies, the really cool thing about them is that when those monarchs leave the grove, because they only winter here, then their great-grandchildren are the ones that return to the grove. They not just come back to that same grove, they come back to the same tree. Isn't that amazing? How does that happen? Right? It's mysterious. It's not just mysterious, it is the mystery itself. It's the divine principle, it's the organizing principle that knows exactly how to guide the right timing, the right places, the right effects and forms to manifest and demonstrate that continuity of essence in life. So this person that stands before you, I'm not her. I am her great-grandchild. You are not the person who took your last breath. In the last minute, we have all transformed, we've all released and revealed newness together. We've all shared at least one breath together. We've seen each other come and go. May I have that reading that you offered us this morning? Thank you. Well, I just wanted to weep when you were reading this. It's so beautiful, so lovely. But the first line was what got my heart. Come, let's die a little every day. We're going to do it anyway. It's going to happen anyway. We can go kicking and screaming, or we can empower ourselves with a bit of inspiration and a bit of anticipation for the good that we know is unfolding, evolving, as we become more and more who we are. And the only thing that separates us from that excitement is that we've forgotten or never knew who that is. And so we come to a place like this, and to a minister like Reverend Sean who will tell us, hey, you're a divine presence. You're a perfection embodied. You couldn't possibly do anything wrong because the only thing you do is love. The only thing you're here with a sole mandate to accomplish is love. You cannot love wrong. But we can think we can. And so we fail to do it very much. So we come here to be exhorted and inspired to try a little harder. And people say, but it's a lot of work. And I say, really, it's not trying hard and it's not work. It's just allowing the natural essence to be and reveal itself. If we wouldn't stand in the way, it wouldn't be so painful.